It's a tragedy that's devastated a southern Kentucky community. How people killed in an explosion and fire were honored tonight.
Stories of service continue to come out of last week's snowstorm. What a pair of troopers did to help cancer patients in Lexington.
And a late game for the Cats against Missouri tonight. We have highlights as the UK basketball team went for its third win in a row.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening to you. Tonight, people in a southern Kentucky community gathered to remember 4 lives lost in a house explosion. Police have now identified the victims as a couple, their 1-year-old granddaughter, and a family friend.
That explosion sparked a fire that ripped right through the house in Adair County yesterday. And as you can see from this video Officer Don shot from Sky First earlier today, there's really not much left. Tonight, a prayer service was held for the victims. Monique Blair is there, and she has our top story at 11.
I heard a horrific explosion, and I didn't know what happened.
Melvin Ansel heard it from nearly a mile away. The loud boom he says he'll never forget.
Then I looked over at Mitchell's house, and the whole end of the house was blown out.
Melvin says he went over to the home, and that's when he saw the one surviving witness, Jason Coomer, going back inside to look for his family.
He went through the house and couldn't find nobody. After it exploded, he didn't know what happened. And he went through the house and went upstairs and couldn't find nobody.
Police tell us they believe the recovered remains of the 4 victims are 60-year-old Mitchell Coomer, his wife, 52-year-old Lori Coomer, their granddaughter, 1-year-old Kenley Rogers, and 32-year-old Stephen Keltner. As I spoke with Melvin, I saw the pain in his eyes, and it was hard for him to come up with just the right words to describe the family who has become his friends after he's lived next to them for decades.
I really miss them. They're accommodating people, nice people.
It's not just Melvin who is hurting, so on Wednesday night, the Bear Wallow Church down the road from the Coomers' home held an impromptu, intimate prayer service for the 4 victims.
We come to the end of the road and we have to celebrate life. So we need to celebrate it abundantly.
Amazing grace.
They're really going to be missed,
In Adair County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Investigators still are not sure exactly what caused the explosion, but they do not think it's anything suspicious. Police say that Jason Coomer was on the opposite side of the home from where the explosion happened and was able to make it out to safety. New tonight, firefighters are trying to figure out what caused a fire at a Lexington home. The fire started just before 9 tonight at the home on Versailles Road near Parker's Mill Road. Firefighters say they quickly put the fire out before it could do much damage. No one was hurt. Firefighters say no one had been living in the home lately. They diverted traffic away from Versailles Road for about an hour while they were on that scene.
Saving lives is part of their job, but during last week's winter storm, 2 Kentucky State troopers went the extra mile to help a patient at UK Hospital. New at 11, Garrett Weimer talks to nurses and one of the troopers about a very special delivery.
Outside Markey Cancer Center, the snow is disappearing. Their gratitude isn't.
It's a huge deal. It can be life or death.
Nurses say one of their patients needed chemo, but with all the snow Friday, they couldn't get it from Louisville.
So the state troopers jumped in. 2 of them went down to Louisville and brought the chemo back in order to get it here in time for the patient to have the chemo so that we could keep his transplant on track.
Trooper Chris Martin picked it up in Louisville, then handed it off in Frankfort to Trooper Kalen Hall. Trooper Hall says the trip took them 5 hours, but they made it with the medicine.
There were several cars off the roadway that we had to stop and check on, pull people out. The snow, it was definitely, wasn't on our side.
Nurses say what those troopers did was huge because medication like that can't wait.
Timing is everything with these patients because if they miss a dose, then they're off. They could be off days, and days is essential to them.
Trooper Hall knows about that all too well. One reason he volunteered to help. He lost his mother to cancer 3 years ago this week.
This time of year, it's hard for me because it was a single mother that raised me, and this is kind of a way I think of her saying, hey, do something good for what people did for me while I was in the hospital.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, that indeed was a special delivery. UK Healthcare thanked the two troopers on a Facebook post that has received nearly 3,000 likes, 700 shares, and more than 100 comments from other folks thanking them as well. Trooper Hall says the hospital also showed their appreciation by taking them to the UK basketball game tonight. The Kentucky National Guard helped a liver transplant patient during the winter storm. Joyce Frazier of Bell County has been suffering from cirrhosis and was waiting on a new liver. On Friday, she received a call that one was available for her at UK Hospital. Well, she and her family immediately hit the road for Lexington, but they became stranded in that traffic jam on Interstate 75 in Rockcastle County that night. So the family called the hospital, who then sent in the National Guard and police to help.
Their statement was, "We are going to get you there, and just hang in there." We had 18-wheelers that was actually pulling our vehicles with chains because we got stuck.
Frazier did make it to Lexington, and she received that liver transplant. Family members say she is already doing much better. Two incredible stories out of something that was so crazy last week.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Good people out there.
Well, after all of that snow last week, the weather this week has been much quieter.
It doesn't look anything like that, and tomorrow should be a little warmer than today. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell got a smile on his face, feeling good about things.
You know, I always have a smile on my face, but a special one comes out for tomorrow because we're going to be back in the 40s for daytime highs. So that puts us low to mid in most cases with plenty of sunshine for most of the day. Out there tonight, naturally nice, clear, and quiet one with temperature already down to 22 degrees. Now you factor in the southeast wind that's coming in here around 6 miles per hour, and you're going to find a 14-degree feels-like temperature. So that's what you're going to be exposed to if you walk outside. But again, that's not going to last forever because we're on the warming trend. A lot of folks already showing up in the low 20s here in Lexington, Frankfort, down to Danville, and Mount Sterling, all right around that 21, 22-degree reading area. And you've got Somerset and London also thrown into the mix as well. A little bit warmer to our south and east tonight. So overnight, hover right around 20, probably some upper teens to get into the day tomorrow. And there you see that 43-degree temperature with plenty of sunshine through most of the day. Now, late tomorrow night, a system, a little piece of energy will approach the area, give us a few showers, and perhaps even a few snow showers to go into Friday morning. I will track that with our hour-by-hour forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Jim. Last week's winter storm is still causing problems in Breathitt County tonight. Firefighters fear the roof of one building could collapse under the weight of the snow, so they've closed all of the businesses inside for now. Firefighters say the roof and some of the businesses already have damage. They say they're working to find temporary homes for those businesses. New tonight, the governor has sent his proposed highway spending plan to Kentucky lawmakers. Governor Bevin wants to spend $6 billion on Kentucky roads and bridges during the next 6 years. He wants to spend 15% of that money repairing the state's 14,000 bridges. That also includes maintenance of the Brent Spence Bridge in northern Kentucky while a study is performed. Governor Bevin also wants to widen Interstate 75 in Rockcastle County to 6 lanes. New tonight, the Whitley County Sheriff's Office has identified 2 men suspected of breaking into a car outside a church. Deputies have arrest warrants for 35-year-old Joshua Buchanan and 35-year-old William North. They say both men broke into a car outside Goldbug Baptist Church earlier this month. Police say a purse and a cell phone were stolen from the car. Surveillance cameras from the church caught the theft on tape. Police say cars outside some other churches were also broken into.
The Cats were back in Rupp Arena tonight to take on Missouri, and it didn't take long for UK to jump out to a big lead. Brian Milam joins us now with all the highlights of tonight's game. Brian?
You know, there are times you just feel sorry for someone, but tonight the Kentucky Wildcats showed no pity toward the Missouri Tigers. Mizzou jumped out 2-0, and that was the only lead the Tigers would have because Derek Willis was awesome in the corner for 3. That makes it 3-2. And when I say the route's on, it really was at that point. Look at the defense from Isaiah Briscoe, forcing the turnover, scrapping on the floor, loose ball to Jamal Murray. He slams it down. The lead grows to 5. Tyler Eulis, he likes assists, and he had a lot of them tonight. Back to Willis. He's feeling it. Another 3. Did I say Willis was feeling it? He was on fire. Another trifecta. The lead swells to 15. The next trip down, Eulis wants in on the fun. Transition three-pointer. UK opens the game 11 of 15 from the floor, 5 of 5 from downtown. It was 20-2. And we'll save the rest of the highlights for you a little bit later because it was just an absolute beatdown. 88-54 is your final. Just an incredible effort, and we'll have the complete action a little bit later in sports.
Brian, thank you. What a way to go into Kansas this weekend. Saturday, the Cats take on the Jayhawks in Fog Allen Fieldhouse.
Universities around the state preparing to make some deep cuts now that the governor has proposed his budget. What UK leaders are saying in 9 minutes.
And then why dozens of people will be spending the night camped outside a new Lexington restaurant.
Millions of dollars in damage, hundreds of boats in need of repair, all thanks to last week's snowstorm. How will the damage affect dock owners and the future of Lake Cumberland? Trouble at the Lake, Thursday at 6 on WKYT. Thank you for once again making WKYT your most watched television station. There is a difference in local news, and you help us prove it every day. Thank you. WKYT stands for Kentucky.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? So today you're going to choose a mobile office. Okay. You can choose this Chevy Silverado, which offers built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, or you can choose this Ford F-150, which doesn't offer Wi-Fi. But to make up for it, we added a trailer, a satellite antenna, and Dolores.
Hey, fellas.
What? So which one do you want?
I'd pick the Chevy.
Definitely.
Or get this dependable Silverado All-Star Edition with a total value of $7,250. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
No two babies are alike. And no two birthing experiences are alike. At the Women's Hospital at St. Joseph East, we believe you should have your baby your way, with a birthing plan designed around you and a level 3 neonatal ICU. A personalized childbirth experience isn't just good for mom, it's good for baby. Kentucky One Health, the one name in healthcare.
Kentucky schools are not failing.
We can't be failing. If more students are graduating from high school, more students are making proficient advance in the state-mandated testing.
We have successes in our school every single day.
Whether students love or hate science, I'm going to work with them to make sure that they get what they need from my class to be successful once they leave my class.
Come see the awesome work our students are doing, and you'll see success.
You have just been hearing, Old Man Winter is liable to land a hard punch very soon. In case you couldn't tell, it's me, Kevin Renfro. As you can see, I'm ready. Are you? Remember, if you have to be in your car, slow down. Increase your following distance. Allow more space for braking. And remember, just because you're driving safer doesn't mean others are. They may not be as careful as you. Be prepared. Serious, experienced results. Call the Becker Law Office. Just dial 3.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 100.1 WKQQ. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Flake potential is back. That comes after a little spike in temperatures tomorrow. Now, overnight, we likely end up somewhere in the upper teens and maybe some low 20s across parts of the area tonight. We look to our headlines and break down just a couple of things. Temps are also going to surge as we get into the weekend, and we're talking about those thunderstorms returning. Now, as for these flakes, looks like the best chance to see some of these will likely be across parts of eastern Kentucky. Look at that. We watch one of our forecast models here just continues to pick up on more activity in that area. This is in Friday morning time period, and you can see it just continues to roll through. What that tells me is they could likely get in on maybe a better chance for a light coating as opposed to the rest of us getting in on some of that accumulation. So maybe a light coating, which is exactly what they don't want to hear, because in some cases they haven't gone back to school down there, so they need a little bit of a break. But even a light coating could certainly spin that off the rails. Here we have our temperatures out there right now. 22 in Lexington, 21 in Danville, 21 in Somerset. Now, and you're going to get locked in on that 14 because it's obviously the coldest temperature around. It's also a messed up temperature. The sensor having some issues with that down there. So it's been pouring the cold air to it here the past couple of days because it's just so much colder. So again, have to disregard that one, at least for now, until they get the situation figured out. Everybody else to the east running the upper 20s. Jackson, Harlan, out toward Prestonsburg as well. We look at our Defender Radar Network, and It's fine. I mean, you're not tracking anything across the area tonight, and you likely won't until tomorrow night when some showers likely try to break out. Energy will be working its way in from our north, and as it does, it will give us that shot of some showers and eventually even a few flakes of snow. A little band of clouds makes its way through the area tonight as well, and then clears right back up. High, thin clouds mainly. There you see the showers breaking out across not only eastern Kentucky, but central Kentucky as well. This is tomorrow night. This is around the time we're on the air, 10, 11 o'clock at night. We're tracking some showers through the area, and then that'll make a transition over to some snow showers as well. And that's where we likely get in on a coating, especially in the eastern parts of Kentucky. One of our models, this is the RPM, shows you just that. Not a whole lot of accumulation expected out of this. So it has, since we were on the air at 6 o'clock, it has taken the totals up a little bit. And I'm talking just by 1/10 of an inch or so in some cases out there, just enough to get on the roads and maybe cause a little bit of concern. Then we stick with our Friday forecast, because you notice on Friday morning and going into Saturday we are talking about temperatures on the chilly side. But look at this. We go into the daytime hours. Low 50s, mid 50s perhaps in some areas, start breaking out all over the place. We have a great looking weekend coming at you there with those low and mid 50s Saturday and into Sunday. Now those 60s would be wonderful, but the problem is we get a big system in here that brings showers and thunderstorms, and then it kind of ruins the whole 60-degree run. It's the reason we're going to get them too, but it ruins the fact that we could have a nice 60-degree day, guys.
Well, it's going to be here. We'll just have to enjoy while it's here, then worry about everything afterwards.
Exactly. I like your style.
Thank you, sir.
We hear about these sightings often in eastern Kentucky, but some people claim they've seen an animal in Lexington that's unusual for the city. That's in 7 minutes.
Win $10,000 at Toyota on Nicholasville and pay off your holiday bills. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months. Hurry to Toyota Nicholasville, the big Toyota store, where price sells cars.
Mamma Mia, Broadway's smash hit musical featuring 22 of ABBA's greatest hits. Mamma Mia, you already know you're gonna love it.
February 4th through 7th at the Lexington Opera House.
Like to know how to avoid measuring, marking, and bad cuts with your circular saw? With the Craig Rip Cut Saw Guide, you'll make those accurate cuts repeatedly without measuring or marking your boards. The Rip Cut adjusts quickly to your cutting width, making cuts in plywood and MDF fast, easy, and accurate every time. Great projects all start with perfect cuts, so get the Craig Rip Cut Saw Guide today. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Get your Craig Rip Cut at craigcutting.com or these and other fine retailers.
We've got an online auto approval hornswoggle. Oh, I hate swogglers.
They said I was approved online.
Uh-oh, I smell a butt coming.
Yeah, a big butt.
But I wasn't really approved. Only DriveTime.com gives you a real online approval in 2 minutes. No butts.
Because butts stink.
Butts do stink.
Kind of a double meaning. What do you mean?
Huh?
Save yourself. Get a real online approval first. Go to DriveTime.com.
It's time to beat the Gators in Kentucky Blood Center's Big Blue Slam, January 25th through the 29th. Donate blood, save lives, and support Kentucky. You can also donate Thursday, January 28th at Rupp Arena and take a shot on the court. Visit kybloodcenter.org for details.
This is Brett Melrose. With winter almost here, the experienced team at Fayette Heating and Air stands ready to serve you. Dedicated to keeping you and your family comfortable around the clock. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 365 days a year, with no additional overtime fees ever. Fayette Heating and Air, we're the biggest because we're the best, and we're here for you anytime, day or night. Call 233-0424. Fayette Heating and Air, complete home solutions.
Ciao, I'm Sam Dick, inviting WKYT TV viewers to join me on a tour to classic Italy, October 8th to the 16th. We'll cruise the timeless canals of Venice by gondola, tour the Renaissance works of art in Florence, and discover the world-famous landmarks of Rome, including the renowned Colosseum and Trevi Fountain, plus a special visit to Vatican City. All airfare and great hotels included. For your free brochure, call Holiday Vacations at 1-800-826-2266.
Win $10,000 at Toyota on Nicholasville and pay off your holiday bills. Plus, get 0% financing for 60 months. Hurry to Toyota Nicholasville, the big Toyota store, where price sells cars.
Governor Bevin wants to cut the amount of state funding given to Kentucky universities, and now those universities have some tough decisions to make.
The governor is using executive action to cut 4.5% from state university funding for the current fiscal year, and he's proposed 9% cuts for the budget that begins in July. Today, 8 university presidents held a conference call with the governor.
He wants to start to move toward a performance funding model for higher education. They didn't get into a lot of detail. He was very open and cordial about the idea that he wants input and feedback.
The University of Kentucky will have to cut more than $12 million between now and June 30th. UK is now working to figure out where those cuts will come from.
An employee at a juvenile detention center in Hardin County has been placed on paid leave following the death of a teenager there. The Kentucky Justice Cabinet says the employee admitted failing to make all the required visual bed checks the night the 16-year-old died. Family and friends have identified that teenager as Gina McMillan of Shelbyville. The cause of her death has not been determined. The Justice Cabinet says the employee is on leave pending the outcome of the investigation. New tonight, the Pike County Sheriff says surveillance video helped deputies track down a suspected robber. Earlier this month, they say a man robbed the Robinson Creek Dollar General store at gunpoint. The video shows him pointing the gun at the clerk. After police were called to the store, they say it didn't take them long to identify the suspect.
Once we got the surveillance video and going through some other video, we was able to determine, fairly quickly who it was.
Investigators say they arrested the suspect, Adam Lester, not long after the robbery. He's been charged with robbery. Investigators say he was on probation for theft-related convictions.
Here's a question for you. Would you wait in line all night for a chance to receive free chicken for a year? That is what some people are doing tonight outside a new Lexington restaurant. Joella's Hot Chicken is holding its grand opening tomorrow on Cochran Road in Chevy Chase. It's in the former Billy's Barbecue building. The first 100 people in line at 8 tomorrow morning will receive free chicken meals for a year.
And I lived in Nashville for several years, so I'm a fan of Nashville-style hot chicken. I've had it in Louisville. They're doing it right. So I was thrilled when I heard this was coming here.
Joella's employees did give some free samples to people waiting in line this afternoon, and they say they will have ways to keep the crowd warm overnight. While the free chicken meals will be given away at 8 a.m., the restaurant doesn't officially open until 11.
And while you're chewing on that, listen to this. It's rare for this to happen in Lexington, but here's what happened. Tonight, city leaders say they have received 2 unconfirmed reports of bear sightings in Fayette County, in Lexington. Both reports came from Jacobson Park over the last few days. City leaders say that one caller reported seeing 2 bears near the dog park yesterday, and the second call came today in the same general area. City leaders say they brought in wildlife officials from Frankfort to investigate, but they could not find any tracks or any other indications of bears in the park. Wildlife officials say it would be very unlikely to find bears this far out of their home range. When we heard about this, we were pretty shocked.
Yeah, I think this has a lot of people talking about it. Could it be true? So we will have to see. All right, tonight the Cats at home against Missouri. Brian, it was over early.
Yeah, anybody who got to the game 5 minutes late, well, it was over, and you missed the greatest part about the game. Kentucky wins in a laugher against an undermanned Tigers squad. Great win for UK. The action's on the way next.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
When my grandfather started selling cars in 1915, cars were one price. When you go to Gates Hyundai, every car is marked. One price. You don't need to negotiate. One price, no negotiation. At Gates Hyundai in Richmond.
Home. Home is about comfort, and that is exactly what we create. When you partner with us, you team with experts, not only in the latest technologies, but uniquely skilled in turning know-how into wow. A home that starts when you are ready and lets you know what's happening. A home that works for you. Not just any home, your home. Get your free in-home consultation today. Bluegrass Home Entertainment. Are you ready to be wowed?
I wish I could tell you that Gates Hyundai was #1 in sales. We may never be #1, but I can tell you that our focus is to be #1 for you. And that's something we've been doing for over 100 years.
Friday's Mega Millions jackpot is $56 million.
If you need a reason to start celebrating Super Bowl 50 early, I'll give you two.
Get a large one-topping pizza for only 50 cents when you order any large pizza at regular menu price.
Better ingredients. Better pizza.
Better football.
PapaJohns.com.
Spend an evening with James Taylor and his all-star band. The American icon is back on tour. April 24th, Rupp Arena. The multiple Grammy Award-winning James Taylor and a night full of his biggest hits. Tickets make a great Valentine's gift. On sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster. James Taylor, another Beaver production.
You're never far away from a new Toyota. Find the latest offers on your tablet. Check inventory on your phone. Toyota is everywhere you are at buyatoyota.com. Now, during Toyota's Anytime Anywhere event, get the bold 2016 Camry with 0 for 60 financing, plus $500 bonus cash. Get $1,250 customer cash or a $179 a month lease. So visit here and then come in here for your new Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Insurance companies demand prompt and full payment of your premiums. Shouldn't you receive prompt and full payment of your claims? When you don't, you know who to call. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Did your family set a goal to become healthier in the new year? One family did and lost 300 pounds at Ageless. Bruce lost 92 pounds, Adam lost 64 pounds, and Catherine lost 151 pounds. For a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution, call Ageless today for a free consultation.
If you need a reason to start celebrating Super Bowl 50 early, I'll give you two.
Get a large one-topping pizza for only 50 cents when you order any large pizza at regular menu price.
Better ingredients. Better pizza.
Better football.
PapaJohns.com. You know, there are times in life when all the preparation you do means absolutely nothing. For anyone thinking the Cats would overlook Missouri before playing Kansas, you were sorely mistaken. Mizzou would jump out to a 2-0 lead. And that's when Kentucky would take over the ball game. Derek Willis was just incredible for a fifth straight game in the corner for 3. The Cats lead by 1. Look at the defense from Isaiah Briscoe, scrapping on the floor, forces the turnover. Jamal Murray would slam it home. And now the lead starts to grow. It's at 5, and then Tyler Eulis right down the lane, back out to Willis. The young man is just in a different universe right now. And he did it once, he did it twice, did it a third time in the early going. Another trifecta. The lead's at 15. Eulis wants in on some of that. It's 20-2. UK opened the game 11-15, 5 of 5 from downtown. Scalabissiere. He's not a post player, folks. He's like another Dirk Nowitzki. Hits the 15-footer. Cats by 21. That style of player. What about the defense? Scal gets up on the top shelf on the block. And then Charles Matthews gets some skin on that leather, throws it out of bounds. Willis, I mean, this is just stupid. Another jumper, 5 of 6 from the floor at that point. He had another double-double. You want more? We got it. Scal, wide open. Totally killing the spirit of Missouri, 47-20 at the half. Second half, it was more of the same. Eulis hits the 2-point jumper. He was just flawless as usual. Jamal Murray, not his normal shooting self, but he's still not shy. Shooters shoot. 3 off the inbounds, and then Marcus Lee, big guy's been struggling a little bit lately, so we give him some love on the highlight, the follow dunk. If you missed it, it was over early. What a win for Kentucky, 88-54 your final.
But I like the energy of our team. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting closer. They're playing with desperation, a refuse-to-lose attitude, and it's making us a better team. What we ask these kids to do as young players is really, really difficult. But our guys, we hold the bar high. They're held accountable, and they play together. This was a good win for us.
Sure was. Up next for UK, Kansas in Fall Gallen Fieldhouse. Now we go to the land of Jim Tom Trent. The mayor of Moorhead and his Eagles looking to stay above 500 with a win over Austin Peay in Ohio Valley Conference action tonight. And it was an Eagle dunk show. There's kids with funny letters on their shirts and want to be on TV. How about Brett Arrington, the flip to DeJuan Marrero for the two-handed flush? He had 14. Then Arrington does it himself. Manny got up. Arrington with 10 points, 11 assists. MSU the first in the half. They're still doing it. Marrero finds Anthony Alici for the tomahawk slam. He had a baker's dozen. Taekwon Biden gets it in there on the fun. Eagles with 5 players in double figures. Moorhead State takes it. They were flying in the thin air tonight, 75-65. Now we go to Richmond. Murray State and the Maroons, the Colonels of EKU. And early on, EKU goes to the best rookie in the conference, Nick Mayo, off the glass for 2. Murray State playing a little muscle ball as well. Quickly to Wayne Langston. That's too easy. He had 18 points. Colonels Paul Jackson had some nice moves, and he had a lot of assists tonight. Finds the cutting Mayo again. He had 22, a game high. EKU keeps going to the body. Another body shot. Jarrell Rochelle at point-blank range. JR with 21, but Murray State hits a few shots down the stretch, and they win it 75-71. Brian Lane and the crimson-clad Transy Pioneers meeting the Earlham Quakers. Alex Jones doing it all. No-look pass to Lowell Gordon, and then he's going to hit the off-balance floater, doing what A.J. does. He was 2 rebounds shy of a triple-double, 16 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds. Also a big game for Parker Stansberry, wide open. He had 26, and Transy gets into the win column yet again. 88-71 is your final score. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back.
Get 5 amazing deals. Up to 50% off furniture and mattresses. Up to 20% and more off TVs and appliances. Savings as good as a state sales tax break. 0 interest till 2019. And free delivery. Hurry to our super sale weekend. Nobody beats P-Rats.
What I love most about teaching is a chance to interact with young people who are open to new ideas, who are hungry for new information.
Words can change lives, they can make people feel, they can make people act. I have grown in so many ways here at the University of Kentucky. I have shared a classroom with so many brilliant people here.
If you have the power to write, if you have the power to create art, the power to invent anything that's transformative, why wouldn't you?
It's official. Green's Toyota of Lexington is Kentucky's #1 Toyota dealer for the 4th year in a row. We're celebrating all month long with amazing deals on our entire inventory. 0% APR on Toyota's most popular models. 1.9% APR on all certified pre-owned Toyotas. Plus, save $5,000 off MSRP on new Toyotas with our Green Saver coupon. Come in and let us show you our appreciation for making us Kentucky's #1 Toyota dealer.
Great people, great cars, think Greens.
2 people can eat all this food for $9.99.
And it's all my favorites.
Yeah.
2 conies or 2 burgers and 2 tots and 2 drinks.
Yeah.
It's like I'm seeing double.
Totally. Speaking of double, look, maybe they want to hang out.
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
Just be cool,
I'll
man.
be cool.
No, you're
I
not
know
gonna
how to be cool.
You're gonna be.
You guys want to hang out sometime?
Oh, man.
I think I nailed it.
See and eat double. 2 can eat for $9.99 all month long. And stop by for buy one, get one free wings on Monday nights. This is how you Sonic.
Hello there.
Oh.
How do you like the car you're sitting in right now?
It's so nice. I think it's beautiful. I like this.
You're sitting in a truck that's its own Wi-Fi hotspot.
Really? I didn't know they did that.
Woo! Hey guys.
Hi. Hey. Who are we talking to you?
So you think that's a good thing to get auto show bonus cash?
Who doesn't like having cash handed to them?
Use your Auto Show bonus cash to get $2,500 total cash allowance on this Chevy Cruze. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
Are you happy with your bathroom? I wasn't. I thought I didn't have the money until I learned about Bath Fitter. Bath Fitter puts a new bathtub right over your old one. Isn't that amazing? Bath Fitter will measure and install right over your existing tub. And only Bath Fitter has seamless walls, which guarantees a watertight fit. Plus, they do it all in just one day. That's my favorite part. Book a free consultation and find out for yourself. Call today or learn more at bathfitternow.com.
It's P-Rats Super Sale Weekend, and this LG high-efficiency front control washer is just $4.99. Huge 65-inch 1080p LED TV, $6.99. 0 interest for 18 months on TVs and appliances.
Nobody beats P-Rats.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
You know, there's a lot of people camping out tonight. Free chicken.
Maybe I'm one of them after the show's
Well,
too, you know?
so they're going to need some good weather overnight.
The problem is they won't get it. It's going to be rather chilly out there tonight. So don't even go. Let me get in line and get the free chili. I want free chili too while I'm at the free chicken pace. We get up to 43 tomorrow though, guys.
You can stop now.
I'm done. I'm out.
Have a good night. Thanks for watching.